Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Nazuba here again, and in this video I want to talk to you about dreamscape shifting instead of reality shifting. This was inspired by, as usual, some recent experiences that I have had in the past month, and it is becoming more and more apparent to me that the ability to shift in your dreams is not much different from the ability to shift reality frames. And I'm going to talk to you about this particular aspect of reality creation in more detail. As with all my videos, I will first tell you the story to give you the context, and then I will leave you with some exercises that will help you gain this confidence. This skill, if you can call it a skill. So, what was that? So I have been not living in my own house. I'm house sitting for a friend. So the whole month I was here, I sort of detached myself from the reality that I was living in. And I'm not a very outgoing person. Mostly I'm at home, and I work from home, and I rarely go out unless I'm meeting friends, which is also very rare. So even if I go meet friends, there are a couple of specific spots that I would go to, unless I'm taking myself out on a day where I just follow my intuition. I'm just living a very solid life. And that was starting to weigh on me. And so this opportunity to be in my friend's house, taking care of her cats and her house was very, I welcomed it very gratefully. And what started happening after a week is that I started forgetting my own place. I started forgetting parts about my own life. It was a very dreamlike situation. And there would be times when I would wake up in this house and I would have to really think to remember that this is not my house. I have a house and I'm here, and this transition. And also in my personal life, I'm in transition. I'm between frames, if you can call it that. In a transition where my past life is not the same as where I'm going, and I'm not solidly grounded. I'm like airy. And I have been reading a lot about and learning, taking courses on all sorts of weird things like remote viewing, telekinesis, you name it, flying, whatever. I shouldn't have said that. Lucid dreaming, yeah, that's the main thing, lucid dreaming. So what is becoming more and more apparent to me is that anytime you do something like this, you would kind of pop out. There is this feeling of popping out of your own body. You need some practice for it. I haven't mastered any of it yet, but I see this nudge from the teachers and from the authors that I'm reading the books from. There is always this nudge from take your consciousness out of your body, take your awareness out of your body. It's just this rattling this cage to enough so that you know you can just pop in and out of your frame, of your prison, so to speak. Dimcho, don't spank her. Never mind. So, what was I saying? And last night, I was very tired and very, very sleepy. I've had a couple of synchronicities and I was feeling like I'm in a dream. And when I came back home late at night, I went to bed, and as I was drifting off, I felt like I was in a dream, almost half awake, half asleep. And I saw myself walking inside a house, and it was not this house, not my own house. And it was a beautiful house, and I was going from the bedroom to the bathroom. It was a beautifully lit bathroom. And I caught myself reining in on myself. I'm like, hold on, where are you walking into? This is not your reality. This is not your house. Where are you? Where did you come from? Where are you going? I became aware of me pulling in my own strings, so to speak, but because I'm not here, not there, not living in my own house, I cannot say this is my house, and all of this ungroundedness gave me this floaty feeling that I could become aware of that particular moment. But then in that dream, when I was pulling myself back, I couldn't remember where I came from or what my past looked like. I could not find the memory of the house that I live in, my house. I could not even find the memory of the bed that I was actually sleeping on in my friend's house. And in the midst of all of this unknown, I found myself in a limbo. And that feeling was so profound that I kind of had this epiphany of this video for today, that your capacity to walk in and out of reality frames is what you use in dreams, and it is also the same thing that you use when you walk into a different reality, 3D reality frame. And a memory came back to me when I sort of did like a quantum jump in Kiev. And I remember feeling very viscerally, I would maybe walk out of the metro and I would feel this glistening sense of the air. I know I just walked into a different reality. And my life changed, of course. People seemed the same, but they weren't. It was a very, very strange experience. So all of this put together, and this dream, which kind of sealed the deal for me, it's the same skill that you use to quantum jump in your reality and in dream reality. And more and more I understand what they mean when they say this reality is just a dream. So that's basically the story. And now I will tell you about the exercises and where I learned them from. The first one is from Neville Goddard. He will, in one of his books, I think, it was not a lecture, but a book, he said he would sit by the telephone or sit on his armchair and imagine his consciousness by the telephone, which was in the hallway. And he would switch back and forth from this spot to that spot, from this spot to that spot. And I have, just for fun, done this. I didn't know about this particular exercise from Neville Goddard. I just did it just for fun. I would sit down here and pop my consciousness or awareness out of myself and take a circle around my terrace and put it somewhere, like on top of the light lamps on the ceiling or really low down on the ground to get that view. And I got this idea because one day, again in the metro, it seems like most of my epiphanies have happened in the Kievsky metro. When I would come back from college, I had a long commute to and fro to my uni. And I would often close my eyes and follow my breath. And one day I found myself right next to the wheels. And the awareness was so shocking that I jolted out. I opened my eyes and I was like, what happened? Because my meditation went so deep that my consciousness just popped out and for some reasons, went near the wheels. Scary, right? That gave me this idea, and I wondered if I could do it at will. So I do this just for fun sometimes. And I find this exercise that is now recommended by, that is recommended by Neville Goddard. He says, like, do this exercise. The sole purpose of this is to remind yourself that your consciousness is not tethered in your body and not tethered in what you see around you. And this is the single most important skill you need to have as a human if you want to shift reality frames and if you're doing this kind of work. And it will help you with your meditations, if you're doing remote viewing, if you're doing telekinesis, lucid dreaming, you name it. Anything that you're exploring with your consciousness will start from the untethered point of view of the untethered point of your consciousness to your body. You can basically move. We as humans, we're so locked into our own realities that we don't really remember that we're not really tethered anywhere. And that's why I needed all of these experiences back to back, like not being in my house, not being in my reality, not being in the next reality that I think is the solid reality for me, in between stages. So this in between place is the place of creation. And that is probably what they mean when they say the infinite field of possibilities, or the unified field in quantum physics, they would call it. So that's one, Neville Goddard. The second is a teacher of shamanism, Marti Spiegelman. And she is an initiated shaman, but also a doctor of microbiology and a coach for very high-ticket people, very high-profile executives. And I took a course from her, and when I talked to her, she said, you need to, if you want to take that course, by the way, go and do it now, because she said the prices are going to go up. And the course is called The Foundations of Precision Consciousness. And in this course, she talks about principles of consciousness. But before I took this course, when I was just listening to her podcasts on different channels, she talks about the connection with the connection with nature. In shamanism, nature is a big thing. And she gave us a little exercise. It would probably take a minute to do. So easy. Like, you sit down and you become aware of your body in space, and then you become aware of your surroundings, and then pop your consciousness out into your surroundings. It just happens automatically. If you make an intention, takes a couple of nanoseconds, as she said, or something like that. I'll link the podcast in the description. And you just pop it out. Also in lucid dreaming, you would find this idea just pop out of your body. I almost see it like a bubble, a little bubble coming out of another bubble, like the bubble separating, into the bubbles separating. Excuse my English. So this is a very important idea as well. So you can try to do this. You can sit down and pop your vision out of your head. See how locked it is in here. Out of your head and into a spot somewhere around you. And I don't know if there is a right or wrong way to do this, but I personally see it as my vision, my eyesight, probably because this is my most active sense. So let's review the untethering exercise. It's not that you need untethering, you are untethered, but you have to remember that you are. It's like in those horse running circles, some horses figure out that was an illusion. So the exercise is like this. Sit down wherever you are, close your eyes, take a deep breath, all that jazz, and pop yourself out of your own mind and onto the table in front of you, for example. Like, I see myself going out and my viewport is now here. And then I can put it up here. And then slowly, I will increase the radius. Now I want to get next to the tree. And then see how far you can stretch it. You will see how it starts to get scared. It will not want to go. The other easy thing that you can do is get it out from inside your head. Take a whirl around your own head. So imagine you're becoming aware of the space around your head. So take a circle like this, and then take a bigger circle, and then scan your body, like from the outside. Go here and imagine how you would look from this angle. Let's say the camera is here, this angle, your ears, your shoulder, and like this around your body, and then around the room. Keep playing with it. You will see that it gives you a certain sense of buoyancy, a certain lightness, which then you can use to shift reality frames. And this skill will build into your other mental skills. But this I find to be a very important skill to have. So I'll see you in the next video.